Hello, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and we're starting a very new type of video today, and we're calling this the Organized Sound Top 10 Countdown. And this is an idea that I've had for a little while. I'm going to start doing some countdown videos where I count down the most exciting things that I think are going on in rap music that just kind of need a list. The topic that I think really needs addressing right now is influencers in hip-hop. So we're going to look at the top 10 influencers in hip-hop, and it's an interesting dynamic because while I think hip-hop has a lot of influencers right now that are very popular and very successful, no one really wants to claim that title for whatever reason. They kind of avoid it a little bit. So I wanted to do my list, and as Meek Mill said, there's levels to this-ish. So I created a little diagram here because, you know, my viewership definitely has different, on the spectrum of knowledge about rap music, my viewership is all over the place. So for those people who kind of would know what the top 10 list looked like, I didn't want to just do like all the big influencers. I wanted this video to have something for everyone. And maybe you'll learn about somebody who's making some really cool content that you didn't know about. So the way we're going to do it is, there's the 4 different levels of hip-hop influencer, and number 1 is the premium, the A1, the people who are really bringing it. Now, when I first conceptualized this video, I kind of moved people around in the brackets, and so I'm going to start at number 4. We're going to work our way up. Level 4 is going to have 2 people. Level 3 is going to have 2 people. Level 2 is going to have 2 people. Level 1 is going to have 4 people because I honestly think there's so many people making really awesome content. So let's get into the video. And here at level 4, I have Hello Yassin and Bo Jackman. So we're going to start with Hello Yassin. He makes YouTube content and he explains it best himself. So I'm going to put the clip in here.
If you like analysis videos on hip-hop and rap, then subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell.
That pretty much covers it. Hello Yassin does really great content. I think what makes him really strong is that he's really good at cutting through the bullshit, getting to the bottom of the conspiracies around rappers selling their souls, or talking about if these rappers are really rich. And we also have Bo Jackman. So Bo Jackman came up with a really original idea, probably one of the spiciest ideas for original hip-hop content since Hot Ones on Complex, but he essentially decided to make a late-night television show for rappers. This is very similar to like a Jimmy Fallon or David Letterman, except he's having guests on like Uno the Activist, One Take Jay, and of course the guest can now be the musical guest as well. And he's got a whole stage set up that I'm quite jealous of myself and really brings a professional flair to it. He doesn't remind me of somebody copying one of these earlier late night talk show hosts. He really has come into his own. He's fun with the guests, he's funny, and has his own unique style. And one thing I want to say about Bo Jackman, I think what he's doing with his show Talk Night Live, it's very original, very early, and I could see him really blowing up this year and just getting discovered for this really incredible content that he's putting out. Next, we're entering the third tier, third level. We've got Dami Divine as well as I Am Dante. So Dami Divine is kind of a tour manager slash show booker, show thrower. He's worked with artists such as Lil Tracy, Lil Wop, Blueface, Juice WRLD, Xavier Wolf. He's now a permanent resident in LA, and I hear that he's working on more music festival type lineups. He's the main manager for Chapo, and he has skills in DJing, tour management, creating content, creating videos. He's an East Coast native from Massachusetts. Then we have I Am Dante, who represents one of the bigger YouTube channels and YouTube followings, the way he does his content is mainly through reviewing full-length albums from music artists, but he adds his own personality. He's very funny and has really great edits that really bring out the comic element in all his content. So we're getting higher up on the chart. We're here in level 2. And for level 2, I had Zayas, the popular YouTube reaction video channel, and Louis Knows, the popular music video director and editor. We'll start with Louis Knows. He came into the game in that kind of 2016 era. He'd apparently had an internship for a larger production company that did music videos, and he kind of took what he learned from that and was able to start working with up-and-coming artists to be able to make content for them. And he's worked with artists such as Famous Dex, Rich the Kid, NBA Youngboy, and YBN Namir. He brings a lot of aesthetic to his edits. A video that sticks out in my mind a lot is the video he did for Kid Buu, Death of SoundCloud. He brings some grunge and some grit and a dark elegance, I guess I would call it. And then we have Zayas, which is a duo popular YouTube reaction video channel. I was just thinking about the origins of the video reaction YouTube channel is pretty interesting. Shout out to Keenan Cahill. Remember him? The infamous guy who did the Down on Me reaction video, and then 50 Cent showed up. I kind of think in the lexicon of reaction videos, that's kind of always been the end goal, right? Is that you're going to create this reaction video, and the artists are going to realize it and then want to become a part of it. And so shout out to Zayas, because they've really created one of the larger reaction video platforms, and they've had a lot of success very recently. I was just checking in on them. They've had T Grizzly on, they've had Kevin Gates on, they've had Cuban Doll on, all coming to be a part of their own reaction videos, essentially. So really elevating the art form and taking it to its highest heights. So who knows what's next? I have a 4-way tie when we come up to level 1 to talk about the top hip-hop influencers. And so these are the well-known. You could have probably guessed them before the video even started. So for this, I have Adam22, I have Joe Budden, I have Yes Jules, and I have Cole Bennett. So we'll start with Joe Budden, because he's somebody that I actually added to the list at the last minute. I was doing a lot of content with my friends, and when we were talking about hip-hop influencers, that was essentially their number one choice. They think he makes the best content. I'm very familiar with his content myself. I think he had a great run at Everyday Struggle. I've watched a lot more of his solo interviews, not so much his podcast with Rory and Mal, but he's just the big personality and someone that's fun to watch him have his strong opinion on a lot of matters in hip-hop, and fun to see him get flustered by just the current events of news and where music is going. And recently his Joe Budden podcast was picked up by Spotify, and so shout out to them for that sponsorship. Then we have Yes Jules, who has coined the term never not working. She kind of runs the 1 a.m. radio show that's distributed through Dash Radio. She's very consistent on Snapchat to the DJ Khaled levels of posting every day. And she manages multiple artists, but I'd say probably most notably 070 Shake. And all that before getting to her main bread and butter, which is event planning and doing activations for different brands. She's an absolute powerhouse. And then there's Cole Bennett, the second kind of music video person on my list. He has the brand Lyrical Lemonade, which has a huge website, a huge merch operation. They just started canning Lyrical Lemonade as a drink and a product. And the thing that they're known mostly for is music videos for some of these new young artists. And they've been really great. And stylistically, he's done a lot of touching things up in After Effects and bringing a very comic, out of this world element to a lot of people's music videos. And he's been very successful with that. And that trend has been very influential, which is why I have to put him at such a high spot on my list. He's from Chicago, so he really started working with a lot of artists over there, but he's branched out really well, and I see his brand doing a lot more in the media space, so I'm very happy about that. Just as I'm talking about this, you've got like a Cole Bennett and Yes Jules, and everybody kind of does a little bit of managing artists and a little bit of throwing their own events and a little bit of creating music videos and things very directly related to the artist. And it almost feels like Amazon, Google, and Apple, in that sense of they're all kind of encroaching on the same territory. And even though there's people that are stronger in one thing and not the other, they're all kind of converging on the same great ideas. And so at the top of the list, I have Adam22. Adam22 runs the On Some Shit store, which is in Los Angeles. And he has the popular No Jumper podcast, made famous from early interviews and vlogs with artists like XXXTentacion, Lil Pump, Ian Connor, and he's just been a powerhouse of producing content. And I think he's just done a good job of continuing to stay consistent and branching out. We see he's hiring employees to go and shoot and host a lot of his other off-branching shows, and I see him continuing with this. I think his real strength is that he's just done so many interviews that he always knows what to ask, and that's really important in rap music because a lot of artists can be a little guarded and they really tell their message in the music, so it can be harder to get the message from them directly. So he just does a really good job of making artists feel comfortable, making artists open up to him, and that's why I have him at the top of the pyramid here on my list. So that does it for the video. I'm gonna show the names here all again in the list, and thanks very much for watching. All right, so there you have it. Those are my top 10 hip-hop influencers. Definitely let me know in the comments if you think there's somebody else that I didn't mention, who I'm sure there are plenty of people, and tell me what level you think you'd put them in, or if you think somebody that I mentioned should be at a different level. All right, thank you for watching. Let me know what other top videos you'd like to see, and I'll see you in the next one.